T-Bird fans, we welcome you to a brand new edition of T-Bird Talk. I'm Cloud County Community College Sports Information Director, Toby Nosker. On this week's edition of T-Bird Talk, we will visit with 4 members of the T-Bird indoor men's and women's track and field teams. We'll be joined by Trey Collins, Bradley Nkosi, Maimuna Jallow, and Tahlia Lienert. The Cloud County Community College women's indoor track and field team is holding firm at number 2 nationally for the 3rd straight week of the United States Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association Track and Field Rating Index. The T-Birds remain second with 275.9 points, trailing only New Mexico Junior College. In the Central Region, Cloud County remains first overall with 460.33 points, ahead of Barton, Cali, Hutchinson, and Coffeyville. The Cloud County Community College men's indoor track and field team has moved up 1 spot to number 22 nationally. In addition to the T-Birds' second consecutive appearance in the top 25, the team is currently number 7 in the Central Region rankings. This week, the Cloud County Community College men's track and field team received a nice honor when freshman Aziz Ben Brahim was named the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference Men's Indoor Track Athlete of the Week. Ben Brahim, a freshman from Morocco, set a new program record in the men's 1,000-meter run at the Steve Miller Invitational in Manhattan last Friday when he crossed at 2:25.40. Ben Brahim finished in first place individually, marking his second event win of the season after he finished in first place in the 800-meter run and a national qualifying time of 1:53.01 at the NAIA JUCO Challenge in Pittsburgh, Kansas on January 25th. Ben Brahim was also among Cloud County's top performers in the track events at the 49th Frank Savine Husker Invitational at the Bob Devaney Sports Center in Lincoln, Nebraska last Saturday. Ben Brahim secured a second-place finish in the men's 600 meters with a time of 1:19.02. Now, the Cloud County Community College women's and men's indoor track and field teams will compete in their final regular season meet of the indoor season when they head to Topeka, Kansas this Friday and Saturday for the Washburn University Ichabod Invitational at the Washburn University Indoor Track. Coming up on today's edition of T-Bird Talk, we will visit with 4 members of the T-Bird women's and men's indoor track and field teams: Maimuna Jallow, Tahlia Lienert, Trey Collins, and Bradley Nkosi. This is T-Bird Talk.
Are you a Kansas or Nebraska high school senior who's thinking about your next steps after high school? If so, you qualify for Cloud County Community College's $500 Early Bird Scholarship. All you have to do is visit campus before December 13th and have a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and you get a $500 scholarship guaranteed. So come visit Cloud and see why our students are Cloud proud. On your visit, you'll see our campus, meet with an academic advisor, and get a chance to have all your questions answered. Set up your campus visit today by giving us a call at 800-729-5101 extension 212 or visiting us online at cloud.edu/admissions.
This week on T-Bird Talk, an opportunity to visit with members of both the Cloud County Community College women's and men's indoor track and field teams. The indoor track and field season well underway. The T-Birds with one more regular season meet remaining on their schedule as they are slated to head to Topeka, Kansas this weekend to compete in the Washburn University Ichabod Invitational. That's happening this Friday and Saturday. And then after that, we're talking about the region championships and then the national championships. This year's indoor national championships will be taking place in Lubbock, Texas. Joining us first, we have 2 members of the Cloud County Community College women's indoor track and field team. We have Maimuna Jallow as well as Tahlia Lienert, and I want to thank you both so much for taking time to join us. Tahlia, I guess let me start with you. First off, where are you from?
I'm from Australia, so I'm from Adelaide, Australia.
So tell me a little bit about growing up in Australia and how were you introduced to track and field? At what point did that enter your life?
So my mum always did track and field, so she kind of always wanted to put me in it because she also loved it. And then I started at the age of 3, so that was like fun games when you're like 3 and 4, and then you start competing at under 6s. So you're 5 years old. So I skipped under 6s, and then I started doing it in under 7. So I was 6 years old and doing competitions.
What's been your primary events?
I used to do cross country when I was younger, and then I switched over to doing sprinting. And then only in like the last couple of years, I've been doing multis. So that's like heptathlons, pentathlons. So a mix of all events, really.
You come to Cloud County Community College. Tell me a little bit about the opportunity to move to the United States. How did this come to be, and how did you learn about Cloud County?
So when I was at school, I think I was in grade 9, I had like a PE teacher, and there was like a management program. It's called Study and Play USA, and they had like paperwork at the like school and everything. So my PE teacher was like, "Oh, you could go over to like the United States." So I picked up the piece of paper and then contacted the management company, and they were like, "This is perfect. This is a good idea. Like, we think this would be cool." So then I started talking to a couple of different colleges and everything like that. And then Coach Drew actually reached out to me when I was in I think I was beginning in grade 12. So then I spoke to him for quite a while. And then, yeah, definitely knew after, I think, like the first conversation with him that, like, he was someone that, like, I really wanted to come to Cloud and everything. So it's good.
Was it a dream of yours to be able to come to the United States?
Yeah, I really wanted to. I knew, like, as soon as they had said, "Oh, you could go over to the US to do track," that was in grade 9. I was like, that's definitely something that I wanted to do. So, yeah.
What has the journey been like for you since coming over to the United States and being here in Concordia in Cloud County? How would you kind of sum up the overall experience so far?
I think for being at Cloud, it's definitely a place of community. So you're surrounded by people who really care about you, and it's such a small place. So it's really like you get a lot of connections with people pretty easily because you see everyone everywhere quite often. I think the coaches also are people that care about you a lot. So it's it's great with the community wise. I think that's really because you get the connections pretty easily with everyone.
I think you were probably excited about the opportunity, but were you also nervous, and has it been difficult kind of leaving behind kind of your past life and being away from family and friends and those you grew up with?
Yeah, it's definitely been difficult. At the very beginning, it was hard because obviously I've always lived in the same place. I've lived on the same street with the same people my whole life. I've had the same friends for a long time, but Cloud's really made it easy to like make friends and get to know everyone because it's small. So it's so easy to feel more comfortable in the environment that you're in.
Maimuna Jallow also with us, a member of the T-Bird women's indoor track and field team. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Gambia.
So tell me a little bit about your journey. How did you end up in America and here at Cloud County Community College?
Okay, the connection come through my colleague. He communicated with the Cloud coaches, and then he see I'm doing good in the Gambia, then he connect us together. That's how I connected with the Cloud coaches, and then they encouraged me, give me a scholarship to come and join the Cloud County.
What has the overall experience been like? Have you enjoyed your time here at Cloud County so far?
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's like a dream come true.
And in what ways? I mean, what is it that you're most excited by? What have you loved about being here so far?
It's a lot of opportunity. Like, it's different from back home. In Cloud here, I compete every week, and then I was not having that back home. So,
tell me a little bit about your events. What is it that you compete in?
I compete in the 60 and then the 200.
And did you grow up all your life running?
Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit about making that leap then, coming over to the United States and now competing against the level of talent that you guys go up against, because obviously you compete in one of the best junior college conferences in the country, but not just that. You're seeing a lot of Division I athletes at all of these meets that you're going to right now. What has it been like running against the level of competition that you see week in and week out?
Interesting. Like, I see it's a dream come true. Like, I chose this game and then I like it. I'm going to do it. And competing every week is going to encourage, like, the way you compete every week, your time you can perform.
Were you used to, like, being able to compete indoors? Because, you know, most kids, when it comes to track, you know, are used to the outdoor season, and that's where they really hone their talent. Things are different, though, when it comes to an indoor meet and an indoor season.
Yeah, And this is my first time competing in the indoor track, but I learn. I have a lot of experience. Like, I can say it's all the same, just kind of different. The difference is not about.
What's that been like for you, Tahlia? I mean, competing in an indoor season, were you used to being able to compete indoors? And how do you feel about indoors versus outdoors?
Yeah, so we don't have an indoor track in the whole of Australia. So I've never competed on an indoor track. So it was really cool. And you go on different ones. So it's like we went to Pittsburgh, and that was a 300-meter flat track. And then we've gone to K-State, which it's a bank track that's 200 meters. And then we went to Nebraska, which is actually banked, but it's banked differently. So it's all very different. You learn from competing on these different types of tracks. So it's really cool to be able to go to these different locations and schools and everything like that.
And you see, like I said, some really high-level competition. Mm-hmm. What has that been like for you to go up against that kind of talent?
I think it's encouraging to be able to compete against these girls because you get to see where you're really at overall rather than just in JUCO. So I think it's been really good, and yeah, it's been good.
Now, Maimuna, I was asking Tahlia earlier about leaving home and if that was difficult. Has it been a challenge for you to kind of change, your environment and be in this whole new place in Concordia and Cloud County? Yeah,
it was difficult growing up in the Gambia, meaning the lifestyle and then everything. I was sad, but the moment I reach in the United States here, like I see there's another different here. And I'm excited and happy to be here because I'm having a lot of opportunities to learn and then to compete as well.
How supportive have, say, your teammates been and your coaches and the folks that you're surrounded by every day as you go on this journey?
Cloud County, I can see they're among the best junior college in Kansas. The teammates, they're supportive and nice, encouraging. The coaches are wonderful, they're good. I love everything in Cloud.
Tahlia, what's it mean to you to have a support system like that she just described?
I think it's great because you have people, especially our team, I think it's really good. You always have people coming up to you. How are you feeling today? Like, it's not just your results. It's really how you're feeling. And the coach is always asking you that. It's not just, like I said, results.
Now, Tahlia, how are you handling the Kansas winters that we've been having, the cold weather, the snow? What do you think about all this?
It's horrible. I don't like it because I came from somewhere which it's really hot. I've never seen snow before. This is the first time seeing snow, so it's been a lot to adjust to. Especially, I went home during the break and then I couldn't get on my flight because of the snow, so that was a bit of a shock, really. And I went from my summer during the break to then this winter, so yeah, it's been a shock, but it's cool still.
Maimuna, what's that like for you, the weather? You're bundled up here in the studio. I mean, how are you handling things?
This is my first time seeing snow. We don't have snow in the Gambia, and we don't have this cold weather in the Gambia. I was suffering the beginning, but like right now I'm coping with this. Yes.
How do you feel like, Maimuna, you've been able to compete so far? Are you pleased with the results that you've seen from yourself in the indoor season?
Yeah, I know, I chose the game. I know what I can do, and then I'm ready to do whatever comes to my way. And then I know I can do better, but I'm happy with the performance I'm doing right now.
What are the goals for you moving forward, the rest of the indoor? And then as we start to look forward to the outdoor season, what are you hoping to achieve?
I want to be a champion. I want to be a record holder. I want to be a record breaker.
Tahlia, for you, how do you feel like you've competed at this stage?
I'm happy. I'm not satisfied though. Like, I know what I can do. Like Maimuna has said, it's coming later on in the, outdoor is mainly the goals. Indoor is just the preparation for outdoor, really. Is
that something the coaches have talked to you about? And, and I have this conversation with Coach Drew Mahan, who you alluded to earlier. And obviously a lot of the athletes on your team, also compete during the cross-country season. And I know your guys' workouts start early on.
Yeah.
It's a long process, right? Yeah. And so I know that the coaches really are working towards the outdoor track and field season. So tell me a little bit about that, making sure that you're pacing yourself in your workouts, you're not overdoing it in competitions, and that you're building to a place where you're going to be happy come, April, May of this year.
Yeah, so I have goals for each event because I do 7 events. So it's really a game you've got to play, like with trying to figure out training, what's the best thing to do. So I'm really got goals for each event, and yeah.
What's the goals for you as you look ahead to the season? What do you want to accomplish?
For indoor season, I honestly want to come top 3 at nationals. Outdoor season, I do want to win. That is the end goal. And then in 2 years, I want to break the school record. So this season is a start, and then next year will be something where I want to break the school record for the heptathlon.
Well, Tahlia, Maimuna, I really appreciate both of you taking time to sit down with me today, and I want to wish you all the best with the rest of the indoor season and the outdoor season ahead. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Are you a Kansas or Nebraska high school senior who's thinking about your next steps after high school? If so, you qualify for Cloud County Community College's $500 Early Bird Scholarship. All you have to do is visit campus before December 13th and have a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and you get a $500 scholarship guaranteed. So come visit Cloud and see why our students are Cloud proud. On your visit, you'll see our campus, meet with an academic advisor, and get a chance to have all your questions answered. Set up your campus visit today by giving us a call at 800-729-5101 extension 212 or visiting us online at cloud.edu/admissions.
And now joining us here on T-Bird Talk, we have 2 members of the Cloud County Community College men's track and field team. As joining us, we have Bradley and Nkosi, as well as Trey Collins. And I appreciate both of you taking time to join us. And I guess, Trey, if you don't mind, let me start with you. So where are you originally from?
Tipton, Kansas.
So tell me a little bit about track and field, and how did track and field end up kind of being a sport for you and something you compete in?
I mean, I wasn't really good at football or basketball. Track was really the only thing I could really excel in. We had a grass track. We didn't have an actual track with a good surface or anything like that. So I just watched YouTube videos. We didn't have a coach either. So I just did what I could and did the best I could.
What events were you competing in?
In high school, I did high jump, 100, 200, and long jump, and 4x4.
What was it about the sport, though, that you enjoyed?
I like the team aspect of competing for points, and individually competing, of course, is fun as well. I just love track.
So at what point did kind of the realization set in that maybe this could be something you could do at the next level, and how did the conversations get started with the folks here at Cloud County?
My junior year, I jumped 6 foot 4 inches, and I was looking at some college recruiting standards and stuff, and I realized that I was above them. And I was like, oh, shoot, I have a chance here, because originally I was just going to go out to NCK Tech and weld or do diesel mechanic or auto body or something like that. And Drew hit me up on Instagram and talked to me. I went on a visit, and now I'm here. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the visit, and, now I'm here.
What was the visit like? Tell me a little bit about what you did and what stood out to you. Why did you enjoy it?
I really enjoyed it because I like how small it is. I like how you really get one-on-one interactions with your teachers and, stuff like that.
Bradley and Nkosi also with us. So where are you originally from?
Originally from Pretoria, South Africa.
So tell me a little bit about, first, track and field. How did this get introduced to you? And tell me about growing up in South Africa, competing in sports there.
Well, track has kind of been going on in my family for a long time. I think I get most of this from my cousins and my mother. My mother ran track, and she was really good at it. And I guess I've been doing track for a long time, but I never really got good until late junior year of high school, and I guess that led me here.
Did you always have kind of a dream of wanting to come over to the United States?
Oh, I always wanted to leave the country back home. I wanted to travel. I didn't necessarily know where I wanted to go, but the U.S. was something that was a huge thing, a very huge thing, and it was quite a surprise getting the opportunity to come here.
How did this present itself? And tell me about having conversations then with folks here at Cloud.
I know Coach Drew does a great job at recruiting. He is really, how can I say, he checks up on you a lot. And most coaches that I spoke to during the recruiting process would kind of just shoot one email or shoot one text, and the conversation would end there. And he would kind of check up on you a lot. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's your visa process going? And things like that. And I think that kind of was one of the big things that led me to coming here.
What has the overall experience been like since coming to Cloud County and to the United States? Kind of sum up your journey to this point.
It's been everything I've been expecting it to be. A bit challenging, but also very fun.
What's been fun about it?
Oh, I love the community here in Concordia, especially, actually. Just everyone just kind of mashes and blends in together, and everyone's just so nice. And I didn't expect that, honestly. I thought it would be a lot more tougher to get along with people. But it's been going quite well, and I'm really happy.
Are there things you miss about back home?
Oh, the food. I'm sorry to say, but the food. I really miss the food, and obviously friends and family.
I was going to ask that because, it sounded like you were excited about this opportunity. It's something you talked about, wanting to get out of the country, travel, experience different parts of the world. But at the same time, you're leaving those close to you.
Yeah.
How difficult was that?
Oh, it was really hard because I know that as soon as I left, what was I going to say to my friends? My family, they were kind of excited for me. Oh, you're going to the United States. You're going to live the American dream. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But the friends, they just said, just please come back to us and don't lose your accent. Yeah.
Well, and what's it been like, Trey, for you? The diversity on campus, the diversity just within the track and field team, to meet so many people from different walks of life, the variety of stories and backgrounds that exist. It's far different than Tipton, Kansas, right?
Yeah, it's insane. Like Bradley, South Africans, Jamaicans, a ton of people. I've just never experienced that much culture in my life. It's normally just been, I come from a town of 200 people, so it's like, it's insane to me. And they're all really nice people. They all have different cultures, and it's just insane.
And you said you love the team aspect of the sport, which is interesting because so much of what you all do as track athletes is on an individual basis, right? And individual events that you're participating in. But and Bradley can speak to this a little bit, but those races last just literal seconds. You build up and anticipate and prepare, and and then it's over within just a few seconds. And then the rest of the time you're there really to support the rest of your teammates. So what's that like, being at these different events, not just, making sure you're in the right headspace and competing, but then also, backing people like Bradley and others that are competing as well?
It's like you're competing for the team. In my eyes, some people just compete individually in their mindset, but if I failed the team. I feel like Bradley feels the same way like that, but.
And speak to that, Bradley. What's that like? Again, wanting to see your own individual success, and that's what you're working towards, but you want the team to ultimately be successful as well.
Yeah, of course. I remember our freshman year when we all came together, we all had just this one big dream of saying, we all just want a ring. We want that national champion, and it's all we wanted, and we were working so hard for it. And this semester, things are a little different. The team's a little smaller than it used to be, but the team aspect is still there. And every time I'm at the gym, I'm with Trey, and we're always lifting heavy and pushing each other and just doing all those things, dropping PRs all the time. And it's really that unity that brings us together.
What's that mean to you to have that kind of support system, given the fact that you are so far from your friends and family?
Oh, yeah, especially with track. Track can get really lonely sometimes. Even though we are a team, most of the time sometimes you're out there on your own, you're warming up on your own and things like that, and it kind of gets really hard at times. So having people that can support you and be like, oh, yeah, great job today, you'll be like, oh, I'm proud of what I did, I guess, because you guys are. So
Trey, I have to imagine coming into Cloud, you never had really indoor track experience, which is very unique. And we were just visiting, with Tahlia and Maimuna earlier in the show, talking about the conversations you'll have with coaches, and you want to obviously have success during the indoor season, but you're also building towards the outdoor season as well. And so there's still a lot more that remains after these next 3 indoor meets. First, do you like competing indoors? What's the indoor season like, or would you rather be outdoors?
I personally like it better. There's no wind. Like some days, I think we went to North Texas last year, and there's like 30 mile per hour headwind that we were jumping into, and we just couldn't fly over the bar. And so I like indoor better, honestly.
Tell me about training. You guys start, way back in the fall semester, gearing up for the start of the indoor season, which really begins once you return from the holiday break. And then really you're going January, February, March, April, May, and again, focused on what you're trying to do in the indoor, get a national qualifying mark, see that you get an opportunity to head down to Lubbock in a couple of weeks and represent the T-Birds on the national stage. But then as soon as that national meet's over, now you're starting a whole nother season with the outdoor season. So how do you kind of pace yourself? What's the conversations you do have with coaches? How do you not try to maybe overextend yourself to where you're really pushing it really hard during the indoor and may not see the success you want in the outdoor?
I mean, you just want to qualify earlier, it feels like. The earlier the better. So then you can work steadily, and once you have those marks, you can just chase places like first place, second place ranked in the national level. I feel like you just start off we start off doing high rep workouts and just trying to stay fit, and then towards the end of the season they want us to peak, so they'll have us do heavier weights, heavier everything, and more strain getting up towards indoor nationals.
Bradley, coming into competing here at Cloud, did you realize it was going to be as intense as it is, that you were going to have to put in as much work as you guys do?
Not at all, actually. I know in high school we didn't have much to do. We just would go to practice, we'd run, and we'd go home. That's it. And whereas you come here and you go to practice, you do your running thing, you do your event stuff too, and then you go and you lift. I've never done the whole lifting aspect until I came here, so it was quite a shock to me, but it really has helped me improve, so I'm really proud of that.
Do you like the indoor season?
Oh, I love the indoor season.
Would you prefer it over outdoor?
Yeah, like Trey mentioned earlier, the whole wind thing. Oh, and Kansas weather gets crazy. So I really prefer indoor season.
I just was visiting with Tahlia and Maimuna about that. Mm-hmm. How are you handling Kansas winters?
Oh, it gets cold. It gets cold, and you just need to layer up, get a coat, get gloves. That's how it has to be, especially being from such a hot place back home. So it takes some getting used to. But
let's talk about the season to this stage. Mm-hmm. How do you feel like you've competed?
Really good, actually. I started off the season with marks that I was hitting last year towards the end of the season. So I'm really impressed of how we've progressed, not just individually, but as a team. And I'm really happy about my national qualifying. So, yeah.
What's the goals for you? Not just this indoor season, but even looking ahead to the outdoor. What are you hoping to achieve this year?
I'm always hoping to get better times. Hopefully get some recruiting, get some eyes on me, and hopefully go on to the next big thing and get to represent other schools and myself.
Trey, for you, how do you feel like you've been able to compete at this point?
I qualified early, but I haven't been doing too good the rest of the indoor season, but just planning to lock in and get to the top 8 in that national mark to get an All-American. And then towards the outdoor season, I'm just, looking for coaches like Bradley said, trying to go somewhere else after Cloud.
And it's interesting because you were just telling me that you weren't even originally thinking about competing post-high school. Now you're here at a junior college and looking at potentially what's the next place, what's the next step beyond this. So it feels like this has really kind of changed your life in a way.
Yeah, it has 100%, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
And what's it like, you guys, so unique, maybe wrestling's the only other sport that can say this, but that, when you go out, you're not just competing against junior college talent. Even though, from a track and field standpoint in many athletics, this is probably the top junior college athletic conference in the country. You're seeing great competition at the JUCO level, but you go to these meets at K-State, at Nebraska, and there's D2, D1 athletes there as well. And so, Trey, first for you, what's that like, seeing, hey, there's these D1 athletes at a 4-year university that, I'm jumping against?
It's not, a lot of people think it'd be scary. It's not really scary. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to jump around them and show them what I have. Like Tyus Wilson and Mason Coy and those guys that are jumping over like 7'3", 7'4", 7'5". I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be in that presence and watch that and also learn from that and learn from their form and stuff like that.
And I think it speaks to the talent level that's here at Cloud, and the quality, of the teams put together here where, several event wins and you guys can get top 5, top 10 finishes going up against this level of talent. Bradley, what's that been like for you? To be able to go head to head with some of the best competition in the country.
Honestly, for me, I think it's really exciting. A lot of people, like Trey said, would think it's scary, and you would say, oh, these people are running crazy times, jumping crazy heights, distances. But for me, it's really exciting because I'm out there to represent not just myself, but junior colleges, and we're trying to prove a point that we're just as good as anyone else. And
do you get nervous?
It gets better. It really gets better. At first, you kind of look at the marks and you say, oh, that is crazy. But once you get to the starting line or you get ready to jump, you just say, okay, you know what? I'm here. I'm just going for it.
What about you, Trey? Are you able to handle nerves?
Yeah, it feels like the same way, Bradley. I know I have the team behind my back. I know I have my family behind my back. I know I have God behind my back. I'm just there to compete in the midst of it, and I don't want to get too nervous or just settle in and get ready to jump.
Well, I want to wish you both the best of luck this weekend as you head to Topeka to compete at the Washburn University Ichabod Invitational to be the final regular season meet before the T-Birds then head into the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference Region 6 Championships. This year going to be hosted at Pittsburgh State University, a place that you're already pretty familiar with, having competed there at the NAIA JUCO Challenge earlier in the indoor season. And then the national qualifiers heading down to Lubbock, Texas, and the opportunity to represent Cloud County down at the NJCAA National Indoor Meet. But I really appreciate you taking time to sit down with us to discuss your season, and best of luck with the rest of the indoor and then, of course, the outdoor. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.
The Cloud County Community College men's and women's indoor track and field teams wrap up their final regular season meet of the indoor season this weekend as they compete this Friday and Saturday at the Washburn University Ichabod Invitational at the Washburn University Indoor Track in Topeka, Kansas. All the best going out to the T-Bird track and field athletes. Now, for the most part, it's been a slow week at Cloud County Community College as far as athletics is concerned. That's because of winter weather in the north central Kansas area. The Cloud County Community College women's and men's basketball teams ended up moving their games against Coffeyville at home Wednesday night. Those games have now been pushed back to this coming Monday. The T-Birds and the Red Ravens will play at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Monday inside Arlie Bryan Gymnasium in Concordia. Now, the Cloud County women have won 3 games in a row, and they are coming off a win over the Independence Pirates in Jayhawk Conference action last Saturday, earning a 64-50 road victory. Freshman forward Talasia Thomas finished the afternoon with a game-high 23 points for her 4th game of 20 or more points this season. Freshman forward Shea Wirtz and sophomore guard Tiana Davis both added 10 points. Freshman forward Liliana Peterson finished with 7 points. Freshman guard Danae Crosby and sophomore guard Kylie Smitch posted 6 points each, while sophomore Maylin Go had 2 points. The Cloud County Community College women's basketball team will be heading to Hutchinson this Saturday to take on the number 8 ranked Hutchinson Community College Blue Dragons at 2 p.m. Now, the Cloud County Community College men's basketball team has not played since February 5th after they earned a forfeit victory over Independence Community College last Saturday. The T-Birds will also play Hutchinson this coming Saturday at 4 p.m., and then 2 days later, Cloud County in action at home for their rescheduled games against Coffeyville. Again, the women's game will tip at 1 p.m., the men's game to follow at 3 p.m., and both games will be played inside Arlie Bryant Gymnasium on the Concordia campus. We will stream both games on the T-Bird Sports Network at cloudtbirds.com. The Cloud County Community College baseball team also announced several schedule changes this week. The originally scheduled contests against Seminole State College and Northeastern Oklahoma A&M at the 2025 JUCO Spring Festival in Edmond, Oklahoma this past Tuesday were canceled. The games themselves will not be rescheduled. Cloud County also had to alter its weekend series plans. They were expected to host Southwestern Community College in 2 doubleheaders this Saturday and Sunday in Concordia. Those games have also been canceled. Instead, the T-Birds are planning to travel to Seminole, Oklahoma for a 3-game series with the Seminole State College Trojans at Lloyd Simmons Field this weekend. Friday's opener is a doubleheader beginning at 1 p.m. Saturday's single game is slated for 11 a.m. The T-Birds are 4-0 on the season, including 2-0 on the road. Seminole State College, meanwhile, brings a 4-2 record into the weekend series and is coming off wins against San Jacinto College North and Wabash Valley College in the Tournament of Champions in Houston, Texas this past weekend. The Cloud County Community College wrestling team will also be in action this Saturday as the T-Bird Wrestlers head to Pratt, Kansas to compete in the 2025 NJCAA South Central District Tournament. For more information and for schedule updates this weekend and throughout the season, make sure you visit cloudtbirds.com, or you can follow Cloud County Athletics. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and X. New episodes of T-Bird Talk drop each Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to your favorite podcast platform. T-Bird Talk is a production of the Cloud County Community College Athletic Department.